Unless you're part of an undiscovered tribe in the jungle or live in a secluded territory away from civilization, chances are you've quenched your thirst with a Pepsi at some point in your life. So let's look beyond those refreshing bubbles today as we learn how Pepsi is made. The main raw materials in Pepsi production are the secret recipe base concentrate manufactured by PepsiCo and carbonated water. This base concentrate may include ingredients such as high fructose corn syrup, caramel color, sugar, phosphoric acid, caffeine, citric acid, and additional natural flavors. It all starts with water, of course, since this comprises the main vehicle to combine the rest of the ingredients. The exact percentage of water in Pepsi can vary, but it constitutes a significant portion of the beverage. If you have ever tasted Pepsi across different countries, you might have noticed slight variations in its flavor, and that depends on the water used for its production. The goal is to use highly purified water and make it as clean and sterile as possible to minimize those flavor variations. After taking the water away from the locals, it must be clarified and treated using several processes such as coagulation, filtration, sterilization, and chlorination. The coagulation process involves introducing a gelatinous substance known as floc into the water. This floc absorbs suspended particles in the water, increasing their size. The treated water is collected in a tank and treated with chlorine, with the reaction typically concluding within a couple of hours. Subsequently, the water undergoes dechlorination via an activated carbon filter to remove any remaining organic material. Before reaching the dosing station, the water is de-aerated using a vacuum pump. The result of all these processes is a water purer than any sip you've ever had, so of course, it's time to pump it full of chemicals. The base concentrate added to water for Pepsi production lies beyond our reach as a century-old, well-guarded secret. It is manufactured in only 3 plants around the world, but their specific location is not widely disclosed because, again, secret. God forbid we ever start crafting homemade Pepsi. Following carbonation, sugar emerges as the second most abundant ingredient. As abundant as 130 grams per liter, or 17.4 ounces per gallon. You can easily visualize these quantities in horror and silence, or glee for some people if you think of them as 32 full teaspoons per liter, 121 teaspoons per gallon. Used in both dry and liquid forms, sugar provides sweetness essential to the beverage's flavor profile. Without it, the drink would lack taste entirely, or it would taste like poison. The harmonious blend of sweetness, acidity, carbonation, and tartness is what defines a perfect cold beverage. Various flavoring elements, whether natural, chemically synthesized, or artificial, contribute to the drink's diverse flavor palette, alongside the use of emulsions. The dosing station is filled with flavor concentrates and dissolved sugar in a predefined sequence based on chemical compatibility and target product. These ingredients are then transferred to batch tanks where they are meticulously mixed under controlled conditions. They keep agitation levels in check to prevent unwanted aeration. Syrups stored in the tanks undergo sterilization through flash pasteurization or UV radiation. Various proportions are meticulously combined to blend the syrup and water, regulating the liquid ratios. To prevent aeration of the mixture, carbon dioxide is pressurized into the vessels. Now, this is where the mixture is infused with its sparkling magic. Beverage carbonation is a process where the liquid is dissolved with carbon dioxide, which is also known as fizz. This is done under very high pressure. Carbon dioxide is released out of the drink by reducing the pressure. This process carbonates the water and creates effervescence in the liquid, that tingly fizziness we love on sodas. The temperature of the liquid has to be maintained under controlled conditions, so carbonators are equipped with automatic cooling. But you know what's not automatic? your subscription to this magnificent channel, so go click those subscribe and like buttons for us right now. Pretty please. Packaging plastic bottles used for soft drinks come in special plastic preforms made of a compound called polyethylene terephthalate, better known to most people as peat, a versatile thermoplastic polymer resin belonging to the polyester family. These little preforms are heated and transferred to a blow-molding machine that gives them their shape, injecting pressurized air at high speeds into the plastic. If the soda is destined for glass bottles, it goes to a different line. In this section of the factory, reused and recycled bottles are thoroughly washed and decontaminated after a physical inspection. They use water at high temperatures to remove any old labels and to clean the inside and outside of the bottles. The final possible packaging form for Pepsi containers is the aluminum can. They arrive from a can manufacturer, all printed, clean, and ready to be filled. Once the beverage and the containers are ready, the liquid is injected at a high flow rate since it needs to be immediately sealed in a vacuum to avoid losing its properties. Containers are filled to the neck and promptly sealed with pressure-resistant closures such as caps or lids, according to each packaging format. After filling, the containers undergo a crucial step of reaching room temperature. The final step is to label them, if applicable, and packaging the containers in boxes and pallets. Now they're ready to be shipped to the supermarkets and fill our bodies with sweet type 2 diabetes. Did you know that Pepsi was created in 1889 by a pharmacist in North Carolina? Caleb Bradham used to sell a self-made soda drink he creatively called Brad's Drink. When the drink gained some notoriety, around 1893, he rebranded it Pepsi Cola, taking the Pepsi part of the word dyspepsia, which means indigestion. Yummy, right? Well, Bradham was convinced his beverage could help ease indigestion, and that's why he chose that name. And of course, the cola part was a direct jab at Coca-Cola, so he knew he was starting a never-ending war when he founded the Pepsi Cola Company in 1902. There's no doubt Pepsi made it to the big leagues. Not only was it the first American brand to be produced and sold within the USSR in 1974, but today, as per 2022 reports, it controls 46% of the soft drinks global market cap, $229.3 billion, against Coca-Cola's 54%, to $68.4 billion. This is one of those personality-defining traits capitalism has bestowed upon us. Much like with cats and dogs, you're either a Pepsi person or a Coke person. So tell us in the comments, are you Team Pepsi or Team Coke? Remember to like and subscribe. You can also click the video on your screen right now if you want to learn how paper is made.